Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Shashank Ranjan, and I welcome you all to the daily news analysis brought to you by National Defense Institute. NDI is a leading defense preparation institute of India that prepares you for all India Sainik School entrance exam, NDA, CDS, CAPF, Afcat, till the SSB, where we believe in holding your hand till you get those stars on your shoulder and emblem on your hat. Ladies and gentlemen, let's begin the newspaper analysis of the 30th January 2022 Chennai edition of the Hindu newspaper. The first news article that's important for us from exams perspective is the opposition slams government as the report says India bought NSO spyware. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we know that there was this thing going on between the among a lot of countries when the NSO, which is a company that belongs to Israel. So there was a accusation on various countries that they had purchased this spyware, right? And the Pegasus spyware. Okay, and the just now, just before the budget session, this news has come in where the opposition party has started to discuss on the purchase of the NSO spyware. Now a New York paper, a New York agency, it says that that the Pegasus was purchased by India. Okay, roughly 2 billion with Pegasus missile system, and the New York Times said that the government, including ministries of Home Affairs and External Affairs, did not respond to the NYT report. So basically, the New York Times report, the government did not respond to it, but the New York Times said that the ties between PM Modi and Mr. Netanyahu had warmed because of their agreement on the sale of package of sophisticated weapons and intelligence gear worth 2 billion with Pegasus and a missile system as the centerpiece. So like, this is the report that the New York Times says, and thereby the government says that it is misleading the parliament. Currently the session is going to start and the opposition is taking up with the wrong matter, which is actually not right. So government says that there was no such deal, and we should not believe on any such private newspaper agency which comes out with any such thing. So government clearly says that there was no such deal that happened between India and Israel. So that's there in this news. The next is the next news article that you have here is India and Israel uh, important ties important amid the global change. So the Prime Minister says that India-Israel ties are very important, especially during the time when China is there's a new power that's coming up, that's China, and also the conflicts that's going between the European power and the USA. Correct. I mean the Russia and the US, the Russia and the European, whatever you want to say, with regards to the area of Ukraine, right? So among the global changes that's taking place, India and Israel ties are very, very important. Comment of India Prime Minister in his speech has marked the 3 decade of our establishment of diplomatic ties with Tel Aviv. Okay, and in the year 1992, PV Narasimha Rao, who was the Prime Minister of India, had started the first uh, uh, bilateral meeting between the two countries. So PM said that 30 years ago on this day, full diplomatic relation was established between India and Israel, starting a new chapter between the two sides. Okay, so that's the thing. Now, India, this is important. India launched a logo earlier this week featuring the Star of David and Ashok Chakra that will be used in the events to celebrate the landmark years in the bilateral ties. So when to celebrate the bilateral ties between the two countries, there was a logo that was released by government of India, and this logo had featured the Star of the David, which is there in their flag, and the Ashok Chakra, which is there in Indian flag. So these two were release. Fine. The next news article that's important for today, ladies and gentlemen, is the BSF Park Rangers uh, resume dialogue. So we know that there is always a diplomatic dialogue between the two countries. There is political dialogue between the two countries, but there is also a military dialogue that happens between the two countries. You can call them as a paramilitary, not the paramilitary, because there is a difference between CAPF and the paramilitary. So the Central Armed Police Force of India, which is the border security force, taking into perspective the Indo-Pakistan border, and then the Pakistani Ranger, which is equivalent to the BSF in India, they talk with each other regarding the issues that goes on the border. Okay, so both it's like the talk is resuming after 6 months. So the Border Security Force and Pakistan Ranger had held two meetings in the past 6 months. Okay, and the basically it's like both side has agreed to conduct such meeting on regular interval for better understanding and to maintain peace and tranquility at the border. And last year BSF took this brought this up that Indian side raised the drone incursions issue. So BSF said that, see, there is a lot of drone incursion from the Pakistani side, so we want you to uh, uh, put an eye on this. That last year BSF spotted more than 70 drones, and two of them were shot down. And dropping of the arms and ammunition from the unarmed vehicles UAVs is one of the biggest challenges faced by the BSF. Okay, so this is what BSF said, that using the drones and UAVs, the arms and ammunitions are being dropped at the borders, and 70 drones were spotted last year, and out of which the some drones were shot down. Two of them were shot down. Okay, so BSF came up with this drone issue that, why are you sending these drones? Not good, right? It spoils the relationship between the two countries. And then at the meeting, BSF delegation emphasized the infiltration attempt from the Pakistani side and regular recovery of arms, ammunition, and narcotics on the international border. Okay, so these are the things that was uh, taken, the talks taken between the two. Next is uh, the next news article is on page number 10. So let's move to page number 10, the news. Here we have the first news article, that is the House panel to take up plea to disqualify two MPs. Okay, so so the Trinamool YSRCP has moved under the anti-defection law. So what is this anti-defection law? Why these two parties have said that please disqualify our two MPs? So these parties have said that you have to disqualify our two MPs. So why do these party want their MPs to be disqualified? What is the how can a speaker disqualify? So remember this, there is a 10 schedule in the Constitution of India. Okay. So there is a 10th schedule. Okay. 10th schedule in the Constitution of India that talks about the anti-defection. Anti-defection. Okay. So basically prevents against the anti-defection, and it says that in case of any anti-defection, the Speaker of the House or the Chairman of the House, uh, whether it is in the Parliament or in the Legislative Assembly or Legislative Council or the Rajya Sabha, can disqualify a member. So that's the anti-defection. It is given under the Article 102 second for Parliament, and for Legislative Assembly it is under 191 second. Okay, so under this is for Legislative Assembly. Okay, so according to these two articles, the Speaker of the House has power to disqualify an MP or an MLA to whoever is trying to do defection. But how can somebody do defection? What is a defection? So basically, there are certain conditions that are given under these articles. It says that if suppose there is some individual who voluntarily gives up the membership of a party after getting elected. For example, if there is a person A Okay, he was in certain political party. For example, he was in DMK. Okay, if this person A who was in DMK, if he wins election on the DMK's ticket, and after coming to the legislative assembly, the person says that I don't want to remain in DMK, I want to give up. In that case, the defection will be added on him, because he won on the DMK's party name, and then after going to the parliament, he says that no, I don't want to join DMK, I want to join AIDMK. Okay, so I'm just giving you an example here. Okay, so it could be any political party, right? So if somebody wants to change the political party or give up the membership, even remain independent, that is also defection. Okay, uh and then again, if suppose there's a person A, the same person A, he does not want to leave the party, but he says that DMK is asking me to vote against whatever AIDMK is coming out with. Okay, so but I don't think that this particular scheme that has been brought by AIDMK is wrong, so I will not vote against AIDMK, the proposal forwarded by AIDMK. So in this case also, this person A will be considered as defecting, because his party DMK is ordering him to vote against certain thing, and if he is not doing it, then that's wrong, because a party works in unity. Each member of the party are not an individual unit, they work upon the ideology of certain political party, right? And if somebody is defecting against that ideology, then that party is definitely defecting. So under the anti-defection, the person can be again be dismissed. Okay, so or disqualified as an MP. The third one is, for example, if there is a person that is nominated, for example, the president of India nominates, right, people in Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha. So if right now the Lok Sabha nomination is gone, like it's not there, but the in Rajya Sabha, then there's still nomination there. And when basically any nominated member, he after the expiry of 6 months, so till 6 months a nominated member can join any political party, but after the expiry of 6 months, if this person, the nominated person, if he joins any political party, then he will also get disqualified. So these are the basic things where the a person can get disqualified under the uh, anti-defection. So this is something which is important for your news. Okay, the next news article that's important for you is use of externment order with caution. So Supreme Court has recently said that basically the Maharashtra government. Okay, the Maharashtra government had given a person externment. So the externment that he cannot uh, the person cannot uh, come in the territory of Mumbai, kind of that. So it's like the court says that you cannot put forward the extendment order, that is you cannot enter into certain area. Okay, you cannot say a person that okay, you cannot enter Chennai for 2 years. Now this is wrong. No, court has clearly mentioned that there cannot be any manner, there cannot be uh, there cannot be any manner of doubt that an order of extendment is an extraordinary measure. It is an extraordinary measure. It cannot be used in each and every condition, right? The effect of the order of extendment is depriving a citizen of his fundamental right of free movement throughout the territory of India. So according to Article 19, there is every individual in this country can go anywhere, right? There's always a freedom of movement. But if suppose there's an externment order where um, a person is said that you cannot enter into Chennai, or you cannot enter into a place for 2 years or something, this is like separating an individual. It impacts the livelihood of an individual, it prevents him from staying in his own house with his family members. This is wrong. This is very, very bad. So use of externment order is absolutely grossly wrong thing, and this can only be used in a very, very extraordinary situation. Okay, so this is the thing that we should see. So basically it is the right under the under article 32 of the constitution, where there's a fundamental right, right, where if any fundamental right is getting violated, then in that case an individual can approach the supreme court directly, right, under the article 32 of the constitution, and that's even his fundamental right. So if there is any order which is passed by an state, or any state is infringing upon the right, fundamental right of an individual, always has this right to approach the courts and get his fundamental rights. Okay, so in this perspective, this news becomes important for us to understand that how Supreme Court works for the this protecting the fundamental right of individuals. All right, now let's move to page number 12. So in page number 12, we have an important news here. India, Oman hold 10th military cooperation meeting. Okay, so basically the India and Oman has a very good military relation, especially the Indian and Oman Navy and Indian and Oman Air Force. They conduct a lot of exercises joined together. So after a gap of 3 years, India and Oman are set to hold a meeting of joint military cooperation, uh, JMCC. Okay, remember this. JMCC. During the visit of Mohammad Nasir Al-Zabi, the Secretary General of the Ministry of Defense of Oman, here from Sunday to Tuesday. So from Sunday to Tuesday, it's going to be a meeting. This will initiate a series of high-level defense engagement between the two countries next month. Mr. Zabi would be co-chairing the JMCC with the Defense Secretary Ajay Kumar, an official said. JMCC is the highest forum of engagement between India and Oman in field of defense that evaluates and provides the guidance, overall framework, and defense exchange between the two sides. So remember this. If in your examination, this can directly come that JMCC was in news with respect to. So remember, it is for India and Oman. All right. So basically, his visit will followed by a series of high-profile engagement in Feb that will include visit by Navy and Air Force Chief Oman, encompassing the talks between Indian Navy and visiting Navy Chief, as well as bilateral Air Force exercise in Jodhpur. So there is going to be a bilateral Air Force exercise in Jodhpur. Annual bilateral Air Force exercise this year will see participation of over 150 personnel from Oman. So this is like a very big bilateral exercise between Indian Air Force and the Oman Air Force going to take place at Jodhpur, right? Fine. Let's move to the next news article, which is important from exam perspective, is this parasitic plant found in Nicobar. So you can read about it. It is basically the name of this plant is the genus September Ranthus. Uh, Genus September Anthus. So this partially depends upon the host and is capable of photosynthesis. So this is basically a flowering plant which is found in Nicobar. It's a flowering plant and it is a partial photosynthetic plant. So partially it depends upon the host for its food, and partially it is capable of doing its own photosynthesis. So that's the beauty about this plant. Fine. Now let's move to the next news article, which is on page number 13. Okay, so 2 years on Indian student waiting their return to China, still a limbo. So the thing is that since the pandemic had started, the whole of China is now shut down. Like the news articles not coming up. What's happening there in the university? What is their schedule? What's going on? Nothing is coming up. So this is putting this into perspective, these students are really very disturbed. Like they said that university said that they have been given no timetable from Chinese authorities on when they can issue letters needed for visa applications of the student. Okay, so they do not have any timetable now. How will the student apply for the visa and go there to study? So that's basically a problem. And those who had completed just one semester or two semesters there and returned back are waiting for since 2 years. Like, when will their education be resumed? Because they're staying in India, they cannot even start a course here in India because anytime they can be called to China. So all these, they are into a big dilemma that what has to be done, what to do. So this is the problem right now with this student. So that's given here. Fine. The next news article that we have is let's move to the okay. Yeah, this one. Varsity covers up the Tiananmen tribute. Now, uh, Varsity covers up Tiananmen tribute. I hope you know that what is Tiananmen tribute. So, Tiananmen, the Tiananmen Square incident is like the Jallianwala Bagh incident that took place in India, right? 1999, 1919. General Dyer, he ordered to basically kill everyone in the assembly of the Jallianwala Bagh, and the shots were fired on the unarmed civilians. So the same thing happened here in the Tiananmen Square. The tanks were rolled over the people when the people were protesting for the democracy in China. So in the Tiananmen Square near China, people were the pro democratic crowd that were protesting against the communist authority of China. Now they were very badly treated by Chinese authority. They were killed by bullets, and tanks were fired, tanks were rolled upon the individuals, and many people died. So Hong Kong was an independent, basically is an independent place, a financial capital, right, from the China, and it was believed that this particular part holds democracy. But recently, when the national security laws that were implemented throughout new national security law that was implemented throughout the Chinese territory, including the Hong Kong, then the Hong Kong's oldest university today, it basically has taken down a statue. Okay, the statue that was depicting uh, the university last month removed a famous statue commemorating the pro democracy protester killed by Chinese troop around Tiananmen Square. Okay, then two other local universities removed the artworks in the public area that marked the crackdown. And then recently it was found that there was a slogan that was mentioned there. That particular slogan was covered. Okay, so uh, that particular yeah so an an AFP reporter saw the construction workers covering the calligraphy, which read, "Heroic spirit of martyrs slaughtered in the cold blood will live forever. The fire of democracy that overcomes evil will never be put out." So this was a good slogan that was mentioned there, that was being covered up by these workers there. So they were covering up the slogan. So this is the thing. Basically, there's a crackdown according to the new national uh, security law that was given up out by China to spread across the whole of the Chinese region. So even though Hong Kong is an autonomous region, but the crackdown is still going on, and people are basically Chinese. What they want to do is they want to make the people forget about whatever had happened in the past, and they want them to accept the government forcefully. So anyhow, that's the thing going on. Fine, then let's move to the next news article, which is there in the FAQ section today. Okay. So in the FAQ section, I want all of you to read this particular news because this is going on a lot at this point of time. If you are going for SSBs, or if there's any exam right now, there are very high chances that you get a question from this particular part. All right, ladies and gentlemen, especially for SSB, I'm telling you that this becomes very important, the Russia-Ukraine conflict. Okay, so basically, if you see here, it's like this part of Russia, this part of Ukraine, that's Crimea, was captured by Russia. All right, and Today it is like it's the part of Russia only. And since then the problem began between the Russia and the other countries, because this was the first time after the World War II that any country had invaded the territory of any other country. You can also call it after the Cold War. There was no country who had done this, and Russia for the first time had illegally occupied the territory of Crimea by attacking Ukraine. Okay, because of the presence of wealth and resources here in the Sea of Azov and Black Sea, this was the reason that they wanted to capture it. Then they simply captured it. Now the problem is going on here between the Donetsk region. Now the this particular region again, the Russian army has hugely deployed its tanks and its military. So this is main point of bone of contention between the USA, Europeans, and other countries, because Russia is basically moving on to simply captures territories of Ukraine forcefully, because Ukraine has a weak military and Russia has a very very powerful military, and when compared to Ukraine. So that's the main problem going on. So I want all of you to read about it, understand what is given here, right? And that's all which is important today, ladies and gentlemen, in this news paper. So I hope this is helpful to you, and we'll meet tomorrow again with the next day news analysis. Till then, please take good care of yourself. Have a nice day, all of you.